Well, hello everybody. We're going to have a talk today. A breaking news story from India on colonialism. National Post writes it. Takes a different spin and, of course, all propagated. Today I'm going to myth bust that story. And again, one of the biggest proliferators of propaganda in Canada, National Post. But first, as I let people log on, I got a job today in Toronto. Happy about that. This time, I won't be disclosing where I'm working, but I was welding all day today and I made it through my tests, so that was good. Early rise, hit that hard all day long, lots of tests, and I didn't have what's called my cheater. I don't know if you guys can see, but it superimposes my eyeballs. Let's see. This is what I needed. I just got it. I got it from Princess Auto. Had to wait at the pickup, and oh boy, Toronto's tough on you, everybody. Got my standard old style soft top flip flop welding helmet. That's what I always use with this magic baby, the old man welder's cheater. I need it. I got 3 of them now, so hopefully it lasts me a while here in my new job. And I'm happy I got that because it's a little bit scary juggling 2 places, right? Toronto's expensive, and then I have my place at home, my kids at home, and I got to look after all that too. So it's money, and that's okay. Looks like I'll have the job to cover me for the time being anyway, so that's really good. But getting back into the Post, people are logged on. So, National Post, they go out with the story. They have a fella from India, his 2 children in Canada, goes into the BC mayor who says, oh, I'm a privileged colonial living in colonialism. And you know what? They go into India and India's constitution. You've heard it here, folks. In all of my experts, my world experts I have, the greatest minds in the world today, I also have tremendous experts from India on board, one of which has a following, massive. I'm on a first name basis with her. We've been in lots together. Of course, she's very well credited, but you know what? She's getting used to me, and from me, she learned a lot in comparative law about Canada and India. That's right, India, as well as Africa. All the African countries, there's 52 of them, many of the best experts from all these African countries, not all, 30 of them so far, have come on board with me with their top experts in the world. We've done massive exchanges, massive stuff I'm not even ready to disclose yet. It's huge for Canadians, the first people. When we talk about comparative law, and we also talk about people taking pieces of other constitutions and amending to use them. Did you all know why National Post story and the fellow who's speaking about it, who's not a lawyer or whatever, and he talks about, oh, colonialism isn't so bad, blah, 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 and he's trying to talk about India's constitution and the negatives. Did you know, everybody, absolutely, when India became independent from the crown, officially independent, got its independence, its own nation status, guess what went with it? Governor General and Lieutenant Governor, as exactly defined in Canada. Crown colonial power that the executive in India gets as well too. And in all the sub-regions thereof through Lieutenant Governor. It was taken along with stolen crown power right there today, which explains a lot for India. World-class Indian experts looking at it. Nailed it. That's something, a small light bulb gift of work I did, awakening a tremendous amount of world experts, as well as Africa, India, of course, which has afforded me even more experts, more stages, every day new groups follow and like me on Twitter, attach more higher academic groups, massive organizations attached to some government and some the top legal institutions of said countries, or even groups of countries. So, I'm doing something right. I'm not Mr. Super Smarty Pants. I just focused on something for my country in a narrative I had to go through when I chased independence. As I grew and I achieved more and more, I learned more and more. It's evolution, not revolution, Canadians. Never listen to the National Post. Not only in legal sense or constitutionalism do they always try to usurp you. This is people in that paper who own that paper, who have attachments to the United Kingdom, which I'm not blaming. Absolutely, I am not blaming the United Kingdom. I'm saying citizens of wealth from the United Kingdom through Canada, Canada's give up of sovereignty to UK, they've exploited that in our Constitution to set themselves up very, very wealthy, in cahoots with our politicians. It's been that way for years. I've got National Post dead to rights on all kinds of economic propagandas to hurt absolutely you, all the Canadian citizens and the First Peoples. This story today, that thank you, bless you, followers and friends. Keep tagging me in stories like that where you say, hey, this sounds right up Dave's alley. Let's see what Dave thinks. That's what this video is. I just told you, even India in independence, their politicians have taken some of that crown power from colonialism, alive today in India. What is colonialism? Oh, National Post says, well, no one in Canada is displacing any other nation's citizens. That's not happening today in Canada. Oh, really? Oh, really, National Post? What do you call the First Peoples of Canada? Oh yeah, First Nations, the nations of the treaties. Oh yeah, didn't Quebec just get nation status? Not a country, but a nation. Why did Canada do that? Why did Justin Trudeau and Legault do that? It's so that they can take even more from the First Peoples, the First Nations peoples. And ultimately that means putting Anglophone Canadians financially on the hook for an even vast amount more, while the First Nations get plundered. Colonialism is alive in Canada. Only 8% of Canada is made available. Are you ready for the real terminology? The Indians from the Indian Act, First Nations, each treaty or unceded or not settled, they're nations. They're called nations. Canada addresses them as nations peoples. See what's going on here? That's not colonialism. Throwing them off their land, usurping their land, taking it away. Canadians, only 11% of Canada is made available to you. At least India, 100% of India is made available to all the Indian peoples through independence. So no, technically, there's no colonialism being committed today in India. However, the politicians have the authority through colonial governor general and colonial powered lieutenant governors to absolutely take. And if you look hard enough, I'm sure you will find sovereignty stolen. None of my business. India's none of my business. That's the law of sovereignty, not my business. Just as National Post shouldn't be making that business all Canadians' business. This is the propaganda telling you you have some kind of authority over another nation, a sovereign nation. But colonialism in Canada is being perpetuated each and every day, longer than Canada accuses China against the Uyghur Muslims. Much longer, hundreds of years in fact. And since absolutely 1952, all governments in Canada have been continuing the crown-empowered colonial powers and absolutely stealing from the First Nations people and really all Canadians, as you're only afforded 11% of Canada. almost 40 million of you. The First Nations, different groups of First Nations, depending on how much white blood is mixed in with your red blood, that is Canada's system. Much past the removal of UK, Canada continued that way, only ever stopping massive human rights abuses when the UNSC bound international laws that forced Canada do it or else. That's the truth, Canadians and First Peoples, and you, National Post, who continues to pump out the biggest amount of propaganda out of any other major news media. That's the truth. Always about trying to defend the Canadian system of atrocity. And that's reality. Think about it. Only a very limited amount of Canada, 79% of Canada, is waiting to be settled for all Canadians and all First People. The actual First People, the real Indians, treaty, non-status or unceded because they haven't had their claims settled, have absolutely the very least amount of land available to anyone in Canada by a large margin, and they're also the highest population, even though through this act of genocide they're getting smaller and smaller as Canada immigrates and grows larger and larger, and they take more and fill all the fat, filthy politicians' back pockets. And some propagating medias get paid too, and they influence some of their foreign interests in financial organizations trying to trick Canadians into signing deals. They have it dead to rights. It's sick. It's wrong. And what's more important, it's against the law worldwide. Now, Canada's Constitution says, oh no, not for UK, not for those attached to UK. It's not. Our sovereignty is given to the UK. We will not amend the Constitution. We're going to be forever human rights abusers against all Canadians and all First Peoples, First Nations, the Indians of the Indian Act, the Canadian Indians. I've said it all, said it as best I could. That's the truth. Share. Don't fall for the lies. My video is not going down. What should happen is everybody should report the Post, National Post, that post talking about colonialism, saying it's propaganda. You can take this video and embed that if you can. That's what we should do. And say that post should come down. That news article should go down. There's lots of them every day you can go through. I can catch absolute Canadian stories. Yesterday we saw one with True North. Absolutely false. Absolutely, completely fake news. There's lots of fake news out there. Canadians are probably the most pillaged worldwide by everyone all over the world in con jobs, fake stories, suckers to grab money. Canadians fall for it, I bet you, higher than any rate of anybody else in the world. Because your government perpetuates it, so how can they stop outside powers from doing it? Our government does it too. Our media does it. So how are Canadians to know what's real and what's not when so many lies, propagandas continue on and on and on? It's a disgusting amount. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Share. I'm back on day shift. I don't know what my schedule is. I know I'm working tomorrow, and we'll see how the week goes. Hopefully weekends are off, but I can't count that out yet. But I'll know more. And I have to write. I have to write a tremendous amount. So wish me well. Things are okay. I haven't lost Ontario yet, and I'm still on my path to go across Canada. So not all is lost, and I'm happy about that. And I'm welding again. Welding's really good. Always good at that. Bye now.